Andy, why don't you start off by telling me about your relationship with the Chemistry Industry Association of Canada and the TransCare program?
Yeah, with the CIAC, it is their program, and we have partnered with them and their member companies to run the TransCare program, and that's a program that's based on aimed at first responders, but also we can have different versions of it. We can have first responders, fire, police, EMS, but we can also have the CIAC member companies come in and do talks and aimed at them. We can have emergency response contractors, and not only that, governments, municipalities, provincial, federal government, whoever wants to come and show and learn. Again, we trade information, and finally, a railway might have an open house, open to the general public. And we would talk all about rail safety and how we're equipped to respond to incidents involving dangerous goods. And it's a good educational program for everybody.
And you're back on the road, you're doing these things in person now. Tell me about what that involves. What does it entail?
As a matter of fact, I've done one recently, and what that is the human contact is the best way to learn, especially with this kind of program, because we're dealing with first responders, and these are on-duty first responders, so they could get called out at any time during our program, which often happens, but they get the most out of it, and that's the important part, is if we do have to call them and ask them to come and help us out, they have an idea what to expect coming in the rail yard, and it all has to do a lot with pre-planning, and they're very, very appreciative of it, and we appreciate them as well, so it's good.
Learning on the job in some jobs is fine.
Yeah.
I would imagine emergency response and hazmat situation not.
Right, exactly. You got and that's part of our program with responding to dangerous goods incidents is one of the things that we really push it home, is to say you only get one chance to get it right the first time, because if you make a mistake involving dangerous goods, something bad's going to happen, and it's very, very important not to rush in without proper information as to what is actually there, and so going forward. And again, bringing in the right people who are trained and equipped to deal with that particular situation. So it's good that they know all about how to approach.
What is the relationship like, and what are your commitments to short line rail in Canada?
Our mandate is to assist the short line railways who are hauling dangerous goods, transporting dangerous goods. And we accomplish that by doing inspections. We train them. We offer TransCare services and also 24/7 coverage for emergency response. So that's our job at the RAC. And believe me, the short line railways love the service, and they take advantage of it, which is great. That's what it's all set up to do.
Tell me about the training that you're offering, the types of training that you're out there doing in an emergency preparations standpoint.
Yeah, we do quite a few different types of training, and by types of training, I mean focus groups. We will do training for short line railways and their employees. We also do training, again, through TransCare with first responders. We also do training at chemical plants and fuel loading plants on how to load dangerous goods into tank cars, for instance. And what that does is it's all regulatory based, and it ensures that when a chemical company is offering a shipment of dangerous goods for transport, it's safe and secure. So once the railway picks it up and takes it into their yard, we're comfortable that it's going to get through the transportation cycle safely without any kind of leaks. So that's the benefit. We do training there on behalf of our members so that they are getting a good, safe product. So other kinds of training we do specialized training, or we have a 40-hour course at the Justice Institute of British Columbia, the Fire and Safety Division there, and 40-hour hands-on course, railway emergency response. And again, that is that's aimed at first responders, it's aimed at railways, it's aimed at emergency response contractors. We even have regulators there, Transport Canada, Transportation Safety Board, Environment Canada, and they take this course. And again, it's a fully immersed, hands-on training. And I don't want to brag, but it's one of the best in North America.
And all of the different stakeholders and players that you just mentioned there, I mean, it really speaks to the complexity and the scope of rail in Canada. Is that why that's so important?
Well, it's extremely important because transportation, when we're transporting dangerous goods through Canada, even North America for that matter, it's vital that it's done safely. And the only way you can do it safely is by proper training and proper personal protective equipment and proper tools to do the job. And if you don't have that, you're asking for trouble. So that's why it's important, and it's multifaceted what we do on the dangerous goods team, because like I say, we aim it at different focus groups, everything from the responders to the transporters to who are, and even loading the rail cars. So it's extremely important every step of the way.
What committees are you on, like in and outside of RAC? Give us a sense of the scope of the work here.
Well, again, we on the dangerous goods team, we represent all our member railways in all things dangerous goods, transporting dangerous goods, and we have different committees. We work within the General Policy Advisory Council, for instance, and it's led by Transport Canada, the Dangerous Goods Directorate, and that's composed of many different modes of transport, and it's composed of shippers and producers, and we all get together twice a year to sit down and discuss the issues as a group, and most times we come to consensus on how to proceed, and again, that can form regulation. And again, it's very important, and it's great to have that communication with the regulators, so that they can talk to us who are actually boots on the ground, and we can say, yeah, that'll work, or no, that might not work, and we can rethink it. So that's important. That's just one committee. I've spoken about TransCare, and we have a TransCare committee, which is a planning committee with all different companies. We have Association of American Railroads Tank Car Committee, and we sit on that committee. We're a voting member, and we set the standards for tank cars, building, construction, maintenance in North America. And what that does is that ensures proper safety protocols with tank cars that are being shipped in North America between many different railways. So that's important as well. Other committees we are involved with is MAC-TDG, which is multi-association on transport of dangerous goods, and what that is that's again, it's kind of like the GPAC without the Transport Canada involvement, and that's all our associations get together, and again, we talk about regulatory amendments and that kind of thing. So that's kind of preparatory to the GPAC, General Policy Advisory Council meeting. So and that's also important. So, and that's just a couple of committees that we do. Inside the Railway Association, we have a Dangerous Goods Committee, and we also have a Security Committee that I'm involved with the Dangerous Goods team. So, and that's where all the railway companies, they send representatives to this committee, and we talk about what's going on in the world of transporting dangerous goods or security. As I'm sure you're aware, security now in transport is very front row. And then there's also a cybersecurity aspect as well, which is a totally different kind of thing, but it still falls under the umbrella of the security committee. So all very important, and that's just the ones that we're involved with on the Dangerous Goods Committee. The REC has many other committees, of course.
Is the reason that you're on all of these committees externally because of the need to integrate across jurisdictions?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's so extremely important that we tell the story amongst ourselves. We trade knowledge, arrive at best practices, and we get that kind of information. That way we can offer it to, again, our member railways, and they can use it, implement procedures, different methodologies. Cybersecurity is a good example of it, and companies have to protect themselves. They have to protect their operations. And with everybody else, and you get a whole network of experts, it's extremely helpful for these railways.
So on the cybersecurity piece, where do you see Canadian Rail going on that area specifically? And where do you hope
Oh, it's already
lead it?
going.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity is already well established, and it's on a need basis, and there is a need. I mean, everybody hears on the news about, cyber attacks and ransomware and this kind of things, and you get some pretty high-profile companies out there that do get hit. So, we're well aware of that, and that's already in place. But you can't sit back and say, yeah, we're prepared. You got to continually improve, and we do that again with our relationships. We have relationships with Transport Canada Security. We have relationships with other associations like the American Association of Railroads, but then also the regulars, as I mentioned, with Transport Canada Security in the United States at the DOT and the TSA. We also deal with enforcement. We learned from the FBI in the United States, Homeland Security. And in Canada, we have the RCMP, we have the military, and then we have all local police forces. In Ontario, we have Ontario Provincial Police, and right down to municipal police services. And again, everybody shares the information on security. And it's not just cybersecurity in this point, although we do operate under that, but it's also general security as far as trespassing and vandalism and that kind of thing. So again, it's all about knowledge.
And it's evolving all the time.
All the time,
Yeah.
all the time. We do not sit still. You can't afford to sit still. You have to keep learning, evolving. You have new technologies out there that are constantly coming up, and we got to make that conscious decision to implement things. So, and again, there's always somebody out there who can assist us and give and trade knowledge, exchange knowledge.
What is it that most excites you about rail in this country and its contribution to Canada?
Well, it's probably 45 years of service. That's a good start. And I've with my experience and history within the railway business, is that I've done many different jobs, and you get to realize, you get to appreciate the knowledge that you gain and the opportunities that arise, and of course the people. And again, like I mentioned, but I've just evolved with myself getting into the dangerous goods side of things. And then again, with that, new challenges arise. That's the best way to be. And yeah, I got a passion for it, because no 2 days are the same. And that's a good thing. There's no redundancy out there, so it's appreciated.
When you talk about Canadian Rail's achievements in recent years and how it's changing, how it's evolving, modernizing, what do you tell people about where rail's going in this country?
I'm always on duty. I'll talk, if we're having a dinner party or something like that, and we'll talk about railways. And actually people, friends, family, they'll ask. They'll hear something on the news about the railways, and sometimes there may be an accident out there, and they want to talk about it, and I'm perfectly happy to educate them on the way things work, and reassure people that what we're doing to keep from making a mistake that we might have made in the past. We're not going to do that again, and that's important. And it's good just to pass that message along. That way, everybody's more comfortable with it, and that's our goal, is to make sure that people are comfortable with it. But they understand also that safety is number one in the railway business. And the general public, the environment, the first response community, everybody that we work with, our employees, it's all about safety. And safety is number one, and that way it ensures that we can do our job properly, and we can get the goods to market. Because on the dangerous goods side of things, dangerous goods are required in our daily life. It has to be there, for production and fuel. We heat our homes with it. We need it, but we want to make sure it gets to A to B properly, and safe and secure.